Hi, it's Kathleen from Bailey Academy, mom of 5, homeschooling 3 of them, ages 11, 14, and 17. Today I'm participating in a collaboration with Davene from Calm in the Chaos Homeschool and Shauna from Homegrown Homeschool. And just like last week, we talked about our math curriculum picks, which I'll link in the description below. I'll link to that video if you're interested. Today we are talking about language art picks for the 2025-2026 school year. And so next school year, I will only have 2 homeschooled students, rising grade 6 and a rising grade 9. My 17-year-old will be graduating at the end of this school year. And so I will have 5 kids, homeschooling 2 of them. I'll have to get used to saying that. So, language arts picks. Okay, so first I just want to say that with this collaboration, there's a playlist in the description. So when you're done watching this video, you can go to the playlist and see all the other homeschoolers that are sharing what their language arts picks are for the next homeschooling year. And so you can absolutely see like everybody else is choosing. So first, I just wanted to share that. Now, for my children, we don't do things fully the way that other people do them, which is the beauty of homeschool. Everybody does things differently. But, for example, a lot of the things that people do in family subjects, we sometimes do in single subjects, and some of the things we do in single subjects, we do family subjects. Today we did writing, which is language arts, together. I'll go into more of that in a second, but I'm still trying to figure out what will work best, since next year my one is rising grade 9, which generally high schoolers do their own work for the most part, but I know some people do things together, and there's some like high schoolers who do unit studies or family subjects and stuff like that. So there's no like, as long as you're following your local laws, there's no way that you have to do it. So first of all, I want to say that we're trying 2 new things this coming year. One is for our writing. So both children have been trying to do writing this year. That was supposed to be what we're focusing on this current year. And my high schooler is doing well with her writing, but everything I tried with the younger 2 didn't click. We mostly tried freebies here and there, or just, my knowledge of writing, which isn't great, but my basic knowledge in writing, teaching them myself, that didn't work. A few different things were tried and didn't work. And so I saw Ode to Abodes, another homeschool YouTuber, her videos on write by numbers, and it sounded awesome and amazing. It's like the math program that we use, Learn Math Fast, which means that you would normally buy the program and you use it from whatever grade you start up to grade 12. Or you can choose the subscription. You pay for a month or year subscription, and then you can just take it as needed. So it costs less in the short term, but you have to keep renewing it every year if you want to keep going. But it's meant for all the way up to grade 12. So I like that. It starts very basic with how to write a sentence and moves up to full length essays. And I like that because sometimes when you do one language arts program for younger children and then you move to something else for middle grade and something else for like high school, they don't connect, they don't piece together, and so your child is lost at some point. And so I liked that it was one program forever. Now, it is out of my price range. No matter, it's not something I could do. It is fairly expensive. However, again, if you buy it in book form, you're buying just 2 books for all of your kids' years. So I understand the prices, and it seems like a really good curriculum. So I contacted them, and I was able to get a subscription for a bit to try it out and see what we think and share with you, and be able to test it out. So I will be sharing. We've already done 2 days of it, and we're gonna finish it the rest of this year, which is rest of April, May, and June, and then we do a break for the summer, and we'll start back up in September. So we'll be using it September all the way throughout June next year. So I'll be sharing updates throughout the whole time on how we like it, as well as little flip through and a review and all kinds of stuff. So if you're interested in using that program but you aren't ready to commit yet, keep an eye on the channel for updates on the program. If you already use it or you're planning to use it, let me know in the comments. I would love to hear what your decision was and which way you're going, book form or subscription. Also, check out Oto Abode's videos on it, including a video she has coming up that's not out yet. Well, it's not out yet as of when I'm making this. I think it's out a couple days after this video goes live. And I'll link it in the description too. It's a video on how she mixes Hearth and Story with Write by Number, which is important because we are planning to use Hearth and Story for my younger daughter's rest of her language arts. And so it is a secular resource, which I like that I've used lots of, faith-based ones and had to take out little bits here and there. And it's nice not to have to do that. And Hearth and Story's pricing is amazing. I can imagine that at some point they will up their prices because their stuff seems so good. So if you are looking for secular language arts for grades 4 to 8, 4 is not completed yet, but 4 to 8, then I would look into Hearth and Story, which I will link below as well. And now I am going to be paying for myself for their grade 5 year. Even though she's a rising grade 6, we're going to use the grade 5 program. They have a sample that you can download by subscribing. I did that and looked at the sample, and I like the way that 5 looks better than 6. Plus, I don't think my daughter's quite ready for 6 yet. So we're going to do Hearth and Story year 5. We will not be doing all of it though. We will not be doing the literature. I don't want to do the literature because every time we try to do something with books that someone else plans, I have to go buy the books. Then we find out the books are too upsetting for my very sensitive daughter, or we don't like it, and then we can't finish it, and then I've wasted the money on the books. So that's not happening. And then we're also not doing the writing program. Probably. It all depends on what Oto Abode says in her video. If she's buying the writing curriculum and merging them together, and I like the way that sounds, then we may do that. If she's not doing the writing part of it and just doing Write by Number, we may do that. So I want to really see what, I think Kayla is her name, Kayla does in her video. So definitely check her out if you're looking for Hearth and Story, Write by Number, or both together especially. And there's another YouTuber that I also saw talk about Write by Number, and so on tip of my tongue, but I can't think of her name. So I'll find her and I'll link her below as well. And she's got some videos on Write by Number that also made me want to really use it. So Write by Number for writing. I'm just going to talk about my rising grade 6 at the moment. So Write by Number for writing. And Hearth and Story will have her spelling, her grammar, her vocabulary, and her... Am I forgetting something? I think that's it. And then if we need anything else, she's also going to be, still hasn't learned cursive, and she's got dysgraphia, or most likely has dysgraphia. We had like an assessment, but not like a formal diagnosis. So we're finally going to try cursive again. This is what we used before, Cursive Handwriting Workbook for Kids by Modern Kid Press. They have one for teens and stuff too. But we're going to use this. So she used pencil, so we're going to erase and start over and just go really slow through it. Really get those cursive writings. The OT, occupational therapist, who talked to us about her possible dysgraphia, mentioned that cursive is actually easier for kids with dysgraphia to write because you don't have to take your pencil or pen off the paper, so it's actually easier for them. So I really want her to learn cursive just because, but also just I think that would be helpful. So even though this says it's for younger kids, it'll be perfect for where she's at as someone who hasn't learned cursive yet. So she'll be doing that. And we're not going to do any handwriting practice because that really stresses her out. She has her computer, so even though Write by Numbers is supposed to be done on paper, it does mention that if you really need to use a computer, you can, and that's what we're doing because I don't want her so frustrated with the writing process that she doesn't do the composition part. So she's going to practice her print writing when you're doing like other worksheets and stuff like that, and just expect it to be as neat as she possibly can. And so that's it for her. And then the rising grade 9, I'm still working on exactly what he's going to do, other than for sure Write by Number. Oh, I forgot something. back to my grade 6 for a second. I have 2 other things that I may pull out if needed. I am not familiar with all of Hearth and Story yet, since I haven't bought it yet, so I don't know everything that's in it, but it seems to be a full, complete course. But if there's even though grade 5 and grade 6 should probably be able to do their things on their own, I find my children need me to help them with both math and language arts. I do as little as possible to help them, but they just can't read the instructions, comprehend it, and do it at the same time. They have ADHD as well. So if I need something else, or there's a day where I can't help and they need something a little easier, I already have for free McGraw-Hill Word Study and Phonics. I mean, like, I got for free from a parent. Great, this is a grade 5, but that's okay. It'll be a little easier. And that's what it looks like. So this will be handy if I need a little something else. Oops, that's answers. And then I also have daily paragraph editing, again, grade 5, that I was given as well. This is Evan Moore. And that's one of those ones where they see somebody else's writing and they have to edit it. And there's one for each day. So we may, depending on if that's included in Hearth and Story, do that every day anyway. I like the idea of editing someone else's work and takes the writing out of it for her. She just have to see what somebody else's mistakes are. So we may do that. Those are a maybe. We'll see once I get Hearth and Story and kind of really dig into it and see what we're going to be doing. All right, back to my raising grade 9. Okay, so writing is done. Spelling I don't have to do with him because I've never had to do spelling with him the whole time we've been homeschooling. He is a natural speller and somehow knows how to spell everything, even the words he's never heard of before. I don't know how he does it. And vocabulary, he does have a very good vocabulary, but I mean, you can always learn new words. So I don't know yet what we're using, but I am leaning towards some things that I found free online. I'm going to call them up right now. I'm not going to show you. Well, I might show you, but I just wanted to remember where I put it so that I can see what they're called. Documents. 1 second. It is something I found for free online, and there it is. It's vocabulary workbook, grade 9. There we go. Okay, it's from Glencoe Language Arts, Vocabulary Power, and I have grades 9 through 12, I think. And so it's just a very simple, like lesson 1. It has a word list of a couple words, and then exercise A, to remember those who died, we will build a monument to commemorate them. Commemorate's one of the words. So what do you think commemorate means based on that thing? And then after you throw those with each of the words. Exercise B is usage. So a eulogy probably would not contain A, B, C, or D. They're not all that kind of word. A predator would probably not be very successful if it A, B, C, or D. And then you learn other words. So like it's just a very simple one, but I have it for free, so we can use that. And I have grammar one as well if I feel we need grammar, and so we may use that for grammar and vocabulary. So grammar, vocabulary, writing. And then the other thing one I didn't mention for either of them is literature. So literature, we struggle with literature because although they are both good readers and that they can read the words, they have trouble with reading comprehension, and they don't really like to read, especially if they're being made to read. But even if I say like, oh, read what you want, like they don't want to read. So my son prefers nonfiction, and as I prefer nonfiction too, I hate being forced to read something I don't want to read. So maybe he's had some fiction he's already done, so I'm not too worried about it at the moment. But if he wants to read from nonfiction, that's fine. Well, I have a room full of nonfiction. He can pick one, or I can assign one. There's certain ones that I think are really good that'd be good read for him, and he needs to work up to, what is it called? Not reading comprehension, but reading stamina. That's it. Reading stamina is something that isn't talked about a lot, and that is being able to read longer passages for longer parts of time. So like in school, my kids who were, when they were in school, they would read, the older two ones anyway, would read like, when they would read for a little bit each day, and then eventually they read 10 minutes a day, and then eventually they read 15 minutes a day, and 20 minutes a day, and so on. By the time they were in high school, they could read 45 minutes if they needed to. But my ones who didn't do upper grades in school, have not had a chance to do that because I haven't made them read enough, I guess, is the problem. And so we just had my son reading, I don't have it with me, a book by Living Book Press that we got for a review, which I will do another video on, Microbe Hunters, because he's learning microbiology. And so not only was it harder words, but it was like a longer text, and he's having the hard time with the idea of possibly reading the whole book. Like, it seems like too much for him, like he's like overwhelmed. So I told him we might not read the whole book, but I'm hoping we will, so that way he won't like overwhelm himself. So where was I going with this? Literature. So the nonfiction, I don't know if we're just going to read nonfiction or if we're going to like just discuss it. I'm thinking we might just practice narration, because that works on the reading comprehension to make sure that they understood what they're reading, what good is studying his books if he isn't understanding what he's reading. So I plan to, hopefully for Mother's Day or my birthday, which is coming up-ish, to get Know and Tell, I believe it's called, about narration. Know, like K-N-O-W. And I want to get that and learn about narration over the summer so that I can have him narrate back to me what he reads and start with that. So, and then my daughter, for literature, we already read Harry Potter's 1 through 3 and watched the movies. The movies are too much for her, but she did like the books. So we decided that we're going to start over. I think we're going to start over. I don't think she remembers enough of it to continue on. And eventually see if we can get through all the books in one school year. I'm going to read to her, with her taking turns reading some passages. There are a lot of hard words in Harry Potter, just to help practice. And if that's too hard, she can read out loud something else. But I want her to practice reading out loud. Both of them need to practice reading out loud. They don't read with enough, like slowly and enunciating the words. And my son has no like tone or inflection. So if you have any resources for how to get them to read differently, like more the way that we talk, that would be helpful. But yeah, I'm gonna have them take turns reading out loud for things like that. I'm talking too fast myself. And then yeah, so where was I going with this? Harry Potter, we're going to read through the books, we'll have her read a little bit, and then we may do some narration as well, or we may do some activities. I don't know yet, but we're not doing like a whole big, thing. She's not like majorly into wizardry or anything like that, and it's not. It's more about reading good, interesting books than anything else. And I know some people are against those books, either for religious reasons or because of the author, and we may discuss what is going on with the author, and she can make her own decisions. But I don't believe in not reading the books because I'm against an author, or not watching a show because I'm against an actor. It's already made. It's out there. We should enjoy it. I think I said everything for language arts. I do want to give a brief overview of Write by Number and Hearth and Story. So I'm going to flip you around real quick before I end the video and show you quickly what we're looking at doing, in case you're interested in more about them. But I will also be doing reviews and flip throughs and stuff like that, as well as updates throughout the year on all of those. So I'll flip you around, and then I'll flip you around again one more time to say goodbye. Okay, just a sec. Okay, so this is Hearth and Story right here. Complete secular language arts, and this is their shop or whatever, but they the different curriculums. They have complete language arts packages, as well as literature only, language only, and individual course components. So I like that you can just choose just their grammar, say if you already have everything else in place, or just their poetry, or their brain food, which is like critical thinking and stuff like that, or just their novel studies for each specific novel if you wanted to. And so you can filter by ages. It doesn't have, did it have 4th grade? So 4th grade only currently has Where the Mountain Meets the Moon, which they just released. This is their novel study. Sorry about the weird lines on my screen. It's because of the way I'm doing it. And we have some other guides that they're including there. But all the other grades have, the one I'm looking at is 5th grade. It has more than that. So I'm looking at possibly the language bundle if I'm including writing. If not, then I will do each one separately. But you can see, like, this is $17, and this is a year of spelling, grammar, writing, and brain food. $17. That's crazy. I'm just going to show you the full language arts, just in case you wanted to see all of them. This one's $25 for the whole year. It has a whole theme. This is the theme of stories we are told. And you can go to the website if you want to read all that, but I just want to show you, where am I? So there's writing here. It's talking about the writing, what they're going to learn. So my problem with the writing is that they're talking about essays already, and my children are not ready for that. So we are behind, which is why I want to use write by number. So I'm thinking we won't use writing. Poetry. Talks about poetry. Brain food. Some of the books that they're going to read. Tells you a little bit about the grammar, about the spelling, things to know, like what you might need, what books it's. So like, for example, one of the books in grade 5 is The Giver. So when I do The Giver with my daughter, I could just buy their book guide if I wanted to separately. But yeah. And then down here you enter your email address and you can get a large free sample of little section of each of the the grades that you wanted to get. So I like that this is they include inclusivity there, and I'll leave it there in case you want to read it for a second. But basically, Lindsay is the person who created it, and I love that it's nice, secular. Even if you're watching this and you're not a secular homeschooler, if you want to share this with anybody that you know that is secular and is looking for language arts, she's the person who's the author of History Quest, and so if you've ever used this or know about it, that's along the same lines. Not the same lines, but like, I don't know what the word is. So this is Hearth and Story. Doesn't have language arts expertise, so that she has earned her degree in English, and she's taught language arts, so she knows what she's talking about. And she has secular history, homeschool history quest, and yeah, like I said, and all kinds of stuff. So she knows what she's talking about, and I think this looks really, 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 really good, and I'm loving the sample that we got. All right, now just a sec. Okay, I flipped you over to write by number. So this is write by number, and the simplest writing program you'll ever use. You can try it free for 14 days. You do not have to enter a credit card. So I love that. So if you want to take a look at this program before you see any more reviews about it or anything, that's like a way to you can see, let me rephrase that, you can access the whole program free for 14 days. So you can see what, again, there's there's levels, but not grades or anything like that. So stages. So stage 1, stage 2, you can see all the stages, all 12 stages, and everything, the teacher's guide and the student's guide, everything, all for free for 14 days. So that's cool. And you can see here how it works. So you start off with sentence basics, grammar, and writing standards. And then my children just finished stage 1 today, so we're going to go into stage 2 tomorrow. 3 sentence paragraphs, sentence connections, and indenting. And by stage 3, they'll be in 5 sentence paragraphs with supporting details. And then 5 sentence paragraphs excluding their construction. So it includes grammar in it. So even though we're going to do grammar with Hearth and Story, I think my kids are behind at grammar enough that this will be extra grammar, will be very helpful. And so all these stages, and eventually when you get to stage 12, your essay outlining and organization techniques, and you have 8 paragraph essays by stage 11. So like you're there. It's laid out like, tell them this, they need to do this. Just like a little example here. It's really, honestly, the free trial already had me loving it, because I love that free trials that don't need credit card information, because I don't want things to get taken out because I forgot to cancel it. I don't like that. Plus, some people don't have credit cards. And that you have access to the whole program for 14 days is amazing. 1 student book, 1 teacher book for all stages, all the way up to grade 12. So take a look at that if that is something you're interested in. Here's a picture of Kayla's from Oto Abodes. Oh, there's the other one. Okay, this is the one I was talking about, and this is the other one that I couldn't think of her name. I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she is her YouTube channel. I also saw her video on it. I will link to her video as well, but although I guess you can get it from the Rate by Number website. And I don't know this third one, but I'd like, watch them if you're interested in learning more. And that is what I wanted to share with you, and I'll just turn you back around for just 2 seconds. Okay, so that is what we are planning to do for language arts for the 2025-2026 homeschool year. And so I will include all the links to everything I talked about in the description, and also check out the playlist, like I said before, to check out everybody else's choices for their language arts. And so you can see what other choices there might be, secular or otherwise, that you might want to choose from. And I hope that's helpful. Let me know in the comments what you think about our choices. Thanks. Bye.